now.
Okay, so welcome everybody, and thank y'all for coming. We just kind of want to show you the library, what services that we have to offer y'all, what resources we have, and then we're going to kind of just open it up. So if y'all have any questions, y'all want to grill us, we're available for that. So the first that I kind of wanted to show was the website. Our website is like a really good gateway to the library. We have a lot of links here at the front page that you can go to. Of course, we have a need help button. So anytime you want to ask a question, you can always come here. You can call us, you can text us, you can chat with us, you can email us. Just about any way that you can think of to contact us, we're probably finding a way to do it. And we will typically respond to you fairly quickly. I don't think it ever takes us too terribly long to get back to you on it. We also have a link to our one-on-one research consultations. So if you wanted to set up just time to work with the librarian, like if you're stuck trying to find sources, you can't figure out, why your searches aren't pulling anything up. If you need help with like your bibliography or works cited page, help with like your thesis or your dissertation or anything like that, you can always set up time with the librarian, and we can sit down and work with you on that. Only one Camden. We just we've got just a little bit for you to fill out, and we'll work with you on time. So we're pretty flexible about that. And I think we have like a couple of different ways that we can meet with you, like over the phone, Google, Blackboard, Zoom. We're all pretty flexible about how we'll meet with you. So anyway, we can, we're willing to do that. And then, so one of the other things that I wanted to show y'all are, oh, my brain just blanked. Okay. So we do have our COVID update. So as things are getting updated, this shows you like how we're updating things. It does show that we do have masks in the library. We do have chairs and technology set up so that we can do social distancing. We have, if you are on campus, we do have, I believe it's 5 individual study rooms. So if you are on campus and you just want a place to like hole up and like really work on your research or your work, we do have an individual study room that you can use. But they are a first come, first serve. And sometimes people will hole up in them all day. So you just gotta kind of see when they might be available. We do also have contactless pickup and delivery services. So as you're looking through our catalog, you're looking through and you find a book that you want, you can always request that and have it available to pick up at the library if you wanted to come to campus. We do also have like a ship to home. So if you don't want to come to campus or you're not available to come maybe during our hours, you can always have it shipped to your house. So that can always make it easier.
Mommy, what's this?
It's trash. Can you throw it away? Thank you. We do have mobile printing. So if you are on campus and you're on your way to class, or you already have it like on your phone or on your laptop, what you can do is, okay, so if you're on your phone, you can download the app and you can just print it from your app. So like I have Google Drive on my phone. I'll just pull up a document that I need and I can send it to the printer. These are the instructions. it takes just a minute to get it loaded up the first time, but then after that, it's fairly easy to kind of go through and pick the document that you want. You can do it like double-sided. You can choose the color printer or the black and white. And I believe we do still give the students, I still think it's $10 at the beginning of a semester. So you have like $10 worth of printing and copying that you can spend before you'd have to spend any of your money. But you can also do it from your laptop. Yes, even for graduate students. So it applies for all students. I'm trying to think. I had a list. Okay. So one of the other things I wanted to kind of go over was I mentioned that we have the contactless pickup and the delivery, the ship to your home. We also have interlibrary loan. So as you're going through, if we don't happen to have that book that you need or that article, you can always go to interlibrary loan, where we will send the request out to, libraries all over the country, all over the globe. We've gotten articles from Germany that have been sent over here. So we'll get things from all over. You can request like, thank you, baby. You can request like just individual titles. You can request like a journal, articles. I believe they say it's just a little bit faster to do an article, just because it can be scanned and emailed to you. But you can also request books. The books can take a little bit longer to get in. With everything going on, and due to COVID, I think staff levels are sometimes reduced. So it can take a little bit longer to get things in, but you can always contact ILL to ask them when things might be coming in, or because you can see that it's in transit, but they might have a little bit more information on that.
Multivitamins.
So one of the other things.
Nate, what do you have my medicine for?
Chelsea, do you want me to take over for a minute, or
You're 28.
That would be great.
Okay, all right. All right, so let's see. Well, we were talking about interlibrary loan. And so basically what that is if there is something that you need for your research and we don't have it in our collection, we can get that for you. So there's never going to be an opportunity or a time where there's something that you need for your research that we couldn't get for you. What Chelsea was saying was, but due to COVID, some libraries aren't fully staffed, and obviously mailing and things like that are a little delayed. So what we'd like to tell people is to plan ahead. We know that's not always possible, but try to plan ahead so that we can get that material to you as quickly as possible. One of the things that I also like to tell students is, if you want a book or some type of physical item, maybe you only want a chapter. So that's a little quicker for you to get. If you just want that chapter or 2 chapters from that book, we could actually submit that as an article request. And those usually come in within 48 hours or even less. I've seen them come in within the same day. And those particular items are actually emailed to you. Again, with interlibrary loan, everything that we have in the library, whether it's in our collection or interlibrary loan, you can pick it up in the library lobby. If you happen to just come in and want something pulled, the staff will actually go up and pull those items for you. Because of COVID, we only have the first 2 floors of the library open, and our book collections are actually on the 3rd and 4th and 5th floors. So those levels of the library are not accessible right now. But if there's anything that you need, the staff can actually just go up and pull it for you or have it ready for you to accommodate your time. And again, whatever you need as well, we could actually mail it to your home. One of the things that have been very popular this semester, actually last semester, was our technology resources, in particular our CARES laptop. We understand that a lot of students have families, and so there may be one laptop per family. And so what we have done is the library and the CARES team have purchased laptops for students to use for the whole semester. There is no cost for this service. This is a service provided for you just to improve your student success. And all you have to do is just complete an application. It's really simple, and you complete the application. Just tell them that you need a laptop for home use, and they usually respond to you within a day, and you can come to the library and pick up that laptop and webcam, whichever the case may be, or both. And so that's been really popular. We have plenty left. So if, you know, my opinion is if you need, even if you already have one and you have kids, or you need an extra one or whatever, it's there for you to use in the way that you need to use it. Let's see, let's go back to the homepage. Most of everything that you need for the library, you're going to be able to access it from the library's homepage. Most of our collections that we buy or we purchase now are online resources. That's just the nature of the game. If you are a humanities student or social sciences, there may be some physical things that you need to refer back to. I know if you're a PhD student, sometimes you need to look at the last 10 years or a period of time. And so you may have to refer back to print resources, but most of the things that we have are going to be electronically available to you, which is great. So you can access them wherever you are. Mostly for your graduate work, I recommend specific databases that you go to, depending on your topic. And the library has over 200 or nearly 200 databases. But if you just want some quick information and you've waited to the last minute, sometimes those things happen. There's nothing we can do about that. We have a quick search here, and sometimes I get pretty good results from just doing a really quick search. You can do it from the homepage. You can click whether or not you want full text or peer reviewed. I don't worry about catalog, and that's going to go away anyway because we want to search all our collections. And so you could just do a preliminary search here. And what this does, it searches across all of our platforms. It's not the most precise search because it's searching multiple databases, but it will give you a glimpse or allow you to discover the different types of resources that we have. For graduate level research, a lot of times you will need a specific database. For example, if you're a criminal justice student, or if you're a social work student, though we have databases that are just for your discipline. And so to get to those, we could do database. If you happen to know what that name of that database is, you can just type it in. But I always think the easiest way to do it is just to go to databases A to Z. And what we've done, the library is, and we're always getting new databases, so we're constantly updating this, so you can always check back. But the first thing that we do when we get a new database, we kind of categorize them into subject areas. So you'll be able to look at the different databases that we have by subject area. If you don't see your subject area here, there's probably a broader area that you could use that's going to actually give you similar results. But you could also contact us, and we can work with you to help you find a specific database that you need. Here we have a list of the popular ones. This is obviously CNOL is one of our popular databases. We use that one mostly for nursing students and any type of health sciences or health professions. And so JSTOR is another popular one. And I think a lot of history and humanities professors recommend that. But let's just look at some of the business databases first. And these are going to be general business databases. And so we have select ones here like ABI, Inform, which will give you things like company information, market trend, industry reports. And then we have like Business Source Complete, which is going to give you more about articles and things related to business and management and administration, accounting and finance. So it's more of a general business database. And then we have even more specific databases like Standard & Poor's, where it's going to go in and give you very detailed information about a company. So even within business, you know, if you have a business topic, and one of the things that Chelsea wanted to make sure you guys understood is that when you're doing research, it's not going to necessarily, especially upper level research, you can't just always just go to one database and do one search and say, okay, I'm done. We don't have anything. The type of research that you're doing at graduate level, you may have to consult more than one resource. Everything is different in each database. So, and they're searched different, they're built differently. So for instance, the ones that are business are going to be set up in a way that are going to allow you to search by business terminology or certain aspects about a business. So for instance, if we went here to ABI, you'd be able to search by company name. Well, if you went to PsycInfo, which is a psychology database, that's not a feature that you're going to have. And that's what I was trying to say with quick search. You don't get the precision when you're searching quick search, but it can be a lifesaver when you're trying to get something and get it in that paper. The ones that I work with graduate students the most are going to be your, let's clear this, is usually the social sciences or criminal justice. That we get more questions from those areas than most. And with criminal justice and with social work, there's actually similar databases. Social Index, which obviously is going to contain a lot of sociology type things. That means that anything you search for in this database is going to have something to do related to sociology or some related field. Obviously, you might want to look at PsycInfo, which is just related to psychology or psychiatric or some type of related discipline. So you can see that when you have a database that is specifically for your area, you're going to be able to have more flexibility in narrowing down your topics and getting more precise results. Whereas if you use a database like Academic Search Complete, which is a very popular database that I share with like comp students, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's more of a general database. So it's multidisciplinary. You're going to get a lot of information about a lot of different topics. It does not mean you wouldn't get an article on business. It's just that that's not what it's geared toward. You're going to get higher quality or higher level types of research articles in a business database, if that's the area that you're looking for. With all of our databases, to access them, you do have to log in, and you use the same email and password to use for your boss account. I mean, not boss account. What's the other one? Blackboard. And then once you're in, that gives you access to all of the UALR material. Again, we are just searching here, Academic Search Complete. And the default screen for most of our databases are going to look like this, is what you're going to see. And each box represents a key term that you could enter into the box in order to narrow down your search. And on this side of the box, it gives you even more precision. So you could actually say, okay, well, maybe I'm looking for a certain person. Then I could put the name of that person and search that field. And that means it's going to be even more precise. Or you could just leave it as select a field or full text. That means it's going to search everywhere in that article for that name. Sometimes that's important that you want to search wherever it shows up in that article. But for your type of research, you probably want to make sure that the keyword is showing up in your abstract. Because if your keyword is showing up in the abstract, that means it's more relevant. So in this general database, you do have some limits here. You have full text. Full text is obviously exactly what it means. It means that once I click this and I do my search, everything that I retrieve is going to be full text. A lot of times your professors at this level are going to ask you for scholarly peer-reviewed journals. You can search and limit by the year. So for instance, health sciences probably don't want to search for anything older than 5 years because currency is important. You may be in a discipline that, it doesn't matter how old something is if you're looking at theory or if you're looking at some historical subject. But currency is an issue for you. That's just one other way to be. The goal of research is to try to be as precise as possible to try to answer that question that you're trying to answer. And then also you have publication types. You have languages and different types of documents. This is just the general. Say, for instance, you wanted an article and you wanted to make sure it had some type of chart in it. You can have that type of specificity if you want when you're searching these types of databases. So this is a general database. Let me show you, and this is just the PsycInfo. I'm going to change. This is one way to change databases within this platform. Let's see. I know it's in here. Well, we will do another one. Let's do CNO, and that will give us another example. This is a subject database, CNO. And so you saw the last screen where it showed different types of limit. So we're in a different database now. And now when you look at the limits are totally different from what they were in academic search complete, because when you're looking at health related articles or research, the focus is totally different. So you need different criteria in order to narrow it down. So for instance, you're looking for some type of therapy. So the language is already different. So that's why at graduate level, you may start off with quick search to kind of give yourself a background knowledge of the area. But when you get down to really getting those articles that you need for those advanced papers, then you really want to use an advanced or a subject database. So again, you have like, if you want qualitative research or quantitative research, sometimes nursing professors will ask, we want you to have an article that was authored by a nurse. Well, you can be able to select that, and then the results that you retrieve are all going to have that. Another thing with not only just nursing, but you would see this in psychology or social work or criminal justice. A lot of times it's important to know what age group you're focused on. And so a lot of the databases will give you those options to limit by a specific age group. So if, for instance, I just wanted to look at middle age, I can do that. And everything that I search for on my topic is going to have something, it's going to be in that category. But you can, there's tons of limits you can put, and as many limits as you can. That's actually a good thing to narrow down your search. The opposite could actually happen. You could actually get too specific, and so then you might have to broaden your search. So those are just some examples of the different types of databases that we have. I would be willing to come back and, like, for instance, if you guys just wanted a session just on CNO or just on social work or just on criminal justice, we could definitely do that. In fact, we're going to be probably posting a list of workshops that we're going to have open sessions for the rest of the semester, and we'd love for you guys to join us for those as well. I think I've said a lot and probably in a short amount of time, so I want to give you time to kind of take it all in. And if you had any questions, I can pause and then we can start. If there's more things you want me to go over, I'd be happy to do that.
Yes, I have a question. How do you access old dissertations from our library?
Okay, that's a great question. So we have some of our dissertations are actually online, and then some would be physically located in the library. So in that case, we have a database. So we're going to go back to databases, and we're going to go to A to Z, and we're going to go to dissertation and thesis at UALR. And these are going to be just ours. So if you've already submitted, I know that part of the process when you do your thesis at UALR, you have to decide whether you're going to do UMI and have it published and go through that process. if you do go through UMI, it's going to be in this database. If it's not in this database, then you're going to have to request it through the library, and we would pull that physical copy for you and let you look at it. So, so that's the process for doing that. So, but most of them are going to be here online for you. If you wanted to look at an example of one from your discipline, you would be able to find them there.
Yeah, that's like actually exactly what I'm wanting it for. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people want to look at them to see what other people have done. That's a frequently asked question that we get, and so this is where you would go to find that. Am I missing some questions, Nicole? I mean, not Nicole, Natalie, in the chat.
Not, no.
Okay.
A lot of people are they're excited about what you've shown us.
Okay.
That's mostly the chat.
Yeah. And like I said, this is so brief. I mean, I could talk to you guys forever about this. And the other thing we help students with are literature reviews. That's something, especially if you're in the social sciences, you're going to have to do that. And that's a very different process for a lot of students, because sometimes we think of that as just a summary of what's out there, but it's a little bit more complex than that. You're really looking at what your question is, or what your area, how it kind of fits into the whole landscape of what's been published, and why your particular research, where it fits and why it's important. So whenever you get ready for your literature reviews, keep that in mind. It's not necessarily just finding a lot of articles and summarizing them. You're actually trying to figure out where your voice fits in that conversation.
I think Chelsea did mention this, but can people make appointments with the library specifically for their lit reviews?
Absolutely, absolutely. And in fact, that's probably one of the frequently asked, consultations from graduate students, is to help with their lit reviews. And for those types of things, especially when you get to capstone level or thesis level or dissertation level, whatever it is that you're working on, that's when you want to probably pick one librarian and just work with that person over the course of that semester. That way they know exactly what you're working on, and you guys can have that communication and that, between the two of you. And there's you're not hopping around from one librarian to one librarian. For regular stuff, it's fine. Any of us can help you. But for that kind of stuff, it's good to have one librarian, pick one librarian and stick with that person. And I would say, she's going to kill me for saying this, but Carol is probably a good one. But you just submit it, and we're gonna put you with the right person based on your topic. Carol and I have been librarians for a very long time, and Carol's been at UALR for over 40 years. She knows this school in and out, and she knows these databases in and out. So she's really good. And I've been a librarian for over 20 years. And so I can help you. I'm very good when I can work one-on-one with you over a course of time. It's a little challenging when it's one and out, because quickness is really what people are looking for at that point. So the quality of the information is not as important as getting it quick. And that's part of what, that's a decision a student has to make. I don't make that decision for students, but when we're working on capstones or your dissertations, that's a process. And it's an ongoing process, and it's a commitment. So it's not like I'm going to sit down and write this literature review in a week. That's not going to, you might, but it's not going to be very good. So yeah, you submit the library instruction request or the library consultation request, and we get an email. And what we do is we look at the subject of that, and one of us will respond to it and set up an appointment with you. And then what I would do if I were you, and you knew, it was at the beginning of your research, I would, at that point when you sat with the librarian, I would say, okay, can I go ahead and set up multiple appointments with you? And that way it's kind of like an accountability. And you can actually just maybe it's every other week, maybe it's once a week, whatever you guys decide you need after that first consultation. That's what I would recommend, is just setting it up on a routine basis. And that way, you're going to get it done. Any more questions?
I have one. If we're having problems with our login, do we go to the IT services
No, you don't know.
Okay.
Sometimes I feel like, oh, this is being recorded. Will you cut that? So, no, actually, you can actually go here.
Okay.
And no one's online right now, but usually you can chat, and that's going to be the quickest.
Okay.
Usually, like 8 until 5, want to be someone on chat. And I tell you, you're going to get your answer within. I mean, if someone's there, it's going to pop up on our screen, and we're going to answer it.
Okay.
Multiple people, we can just have it up on our desktop while we're at work. That's going to be the quickest. And then you can actually text. We get a lot of text messages where people text this number, and then it goes through our system and we respond through text. Let me just show you what you can do, some troubleshooting that you can do with the login. Let me go back, because that's a question we get a lot. So let's see, I don't know if it'll ask me again for my login information. That's a very specific term here. I may be already logged in, so it may not show me. Yeah, well, no. So I'm in quick search, and it's gonna show me these results. It looks a little bit like what we were looking at, but it's a little different. This is the search where it's searching everything. So you're gonna get still good information, but it's not gonna be as precise. But I would recommend going here if you don't really know that much, you don't know the landscape of your area, and you just kind of wanna get a background. Look, I start here, but I also start on Google. I know you've probably been told that librarians don't want you to use Google or Wikipedia or whatever. I'm not that person. You have to actually get some background before you can start researching. And so all of those places are good places to get background information. So you just have to know what you're looking at. So in this case, you would log in, and it's probably going to read me as logged in. Yeah. The first screen, like I said, is going to be your full email address and the password that goes with that. I think the campus has completely transitioned over to what they call Net ID 2.0, which means that your Net ID is now your full email address. There may be a couple of platforms that still use the old 3-digit or the 3-letter initials in your password. And then basically, if you can log into Blackboard, you should be able to log into the library resources. If you can't do that, there is let me clear my cache so I can show you. And this is something you should do too, in case you can't, or if you're having problems logging in. You can actually clear your browsing data, and sometimes that will help.
I have posted the link to
You did? Okay, good. Thank
that
you.
has the like if you're having trouble logging in, these are some of the steps that you can take.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chelsea. So now it should ask me for my password. Okay, and so here's the alternate way. So sometimes that just doesn't work. So here you can go here, you can put your first and last name in, and then there's going to be a number on the back of your ID. And that's going to be a long 14-digit number. That's your library number. And you can put that number here in this box, and then that's going to allow you to log in. So if this one's not working, try that one. If you don't have an ID, because a lot of times you're distance students and you don't come to campus to get the ID, you can find that number in your BOSS account under personal information. That one, 9 times out of 10, that's going to solve your problem. Either using your Blackboard login here, clearing your cache and your cookies and history. If that doesn't work, then you want to log in here. Now, if all 3 of those things don't work, then you probably do need to just call us so we can troubleshoot to see what's going on.
Okay, hey, that's good. I went through it myself, and now I use the other users, but I have that working because I do have a card. But thank you, and I think I really appreciate it.
The last thing you want to happen is that this has to work on your time. So you may work at 2 o'clock in the morning, and the last thing you need to happen is this thing doesn't work for you. That's not a good thing.
No, exactly. Does anybody else have any other questions? No? Do you guys have?
Would you like for me to do like, you know, give you like videos that, now where are you gonna post this? Because I'd be happy to make videos for you. And we're like, if we had discipline specific videos, we'd be happy to create those for you. That's
Oh, okay.
I would like for you guys to all know is that we're here for you. You know, do not stress about, I mean, life is stressful enough. You know, call us, email us. There are 4 of us that can help you. And if we can't help you, we're going to pull other people in to help you. You know what I'm saying? So don't wait till the last minute. But even if you do wait till the last minute, still reach out. There's no reason, there's help for you here. And I can speak for everybody at the library. We want to see you succeed. And so that's what I'm getting paid to do. And if I don't hear from you, then I'm not doing my job.
Okay, I think that's a really good idea. We can, we have a meeting this Thursday, so we can kind of put some votes together and see where or what's most needed. But I really appreciate that. And I think that'd be good for.
The other thing, Natalie,
Comment?
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Natalie.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I can also give you a link to the upcoming classes.
Perfect. We can post that on our social media and on our website.
Okay.
I did notice in the chat that Rebecca asked a question.
Okay.
What would be a good database for non-medical biology or maybe plant sciences?
So let's see here. There should be something just on science. There's not. So there's there biology? Yeah, I thought I saw biology. Okay, here we go. So we have biology database, which is probably going to be obviously biology, but it's going to be your general biology. And then we have Science Direct and then Web of Science, 2 would be good ones. Web of Science, I would say, you know, you sit down with a librarian so we can go through that with you guys. That one is more of a citation database, but it's a good one that, and when I say citation database, it just means it's not full text. But we can actually get the full text for you, but there's a lot in Science Direct, but these search a little bit differently. So I would start here. And then if you're not finding what you need, and then we can kind of look through some of these. I don't know all of them. I mean, there's 200 of them, so I'm not even gonna claim to know all of them, but we can go through and try to find some. The other thing, I think you could actually search. So I can't remember what the question was, but I'll just type in biology. And so even then it just found 5 biology ones that have something in what we call here, we have a description for each database, and I probably should have pointed that out to you. And so that tells you what's going to be in that database if you search for it. The other thing I should tell you guys before I stop, I just realized that every link on our pages are unique to UALR. So when you're sharing information, or if you have to embed that information in some way, you have to use a special link. And it's called a persistent link, but it's a proxy link, just a proxy persistent link just for UALR. So for instance, just for this database, in order for you to get to this particular database, you would have to use this particular link. If we were in this database, let me go into the database. Okay. All right, so for this particular one, a lot of times students or faculty too will go here and click this information and say, oh, this is the link to what I was searching, or this is the link to this particular data journal article. This link is a session link. It's only good as long as you're in this session, and once you close out, you can't go back to it. So someone is going to get an error message if you do that. The way to get the link is to go to the article that you want. And then, Chelsea, you may have to help me if you're here. All options here, and then there should be here a proxy link. If you're using any citation management, it will actually export directly to it. I don't see it here, I'm sorry. Let's go down in the record here. This may not be, this is not full text, that's why I'm not seeing it. Okay, let's go to one that's full text. Okay, so what I do is you just go to details, and then if you go down to the record information, there's going to be a link here. And you see this link that says DOI. That's going to be the link that's always going to take you back to this article. The thing about the UALR links that you need to look for is it's going to have a 0 in front, and then it's going to have the library.ualr.edu in that link. 9 times out of 10, there are a few exceptions, but 9 times out of 10, if it doesn't look like that, then that link is not going to work for off-campus UALR students. So for instance, if you pull this link and you copy that, that is a persistent link, but it's not going to be authenticated through UALR because we purchased these things for you guys based on a FTE. And so even though this might be a persistent link to this article, this is the one you would use for UALR. And the reason you know that is because it has our address in that. Trying to see if there's another option here for you to grab that link. I'm not seeing it here.
It's up there at the top. Scroll up just a little bit on that one.
Okay,
It's
here we go.
right there, up at the top. Yep.
Right there. You would get it there, and it just click on it and it automatically clicks for you.
I have a question with this. So if you use the email function from this screen, does it email the link or does it email the PDF?
It depends. You should have an option to attach the PDF. But if for instance, you can do the original file format and then do that. But this is in a different platform, so it gives you that option in this platform. But each one of them that we have will give you the option to email that PDF to you.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Oh, good. Thank you.
What I like doing too is I like when I get a good search that I've done, and I like to save that search, and you can also do that same thing with your search is you do the search and then you can save that that search, and that way you can always get back to that particular search and start exactly where you are. So here, this is not a sophisticated search here, but if you had, you worked really hard to get that search down to where you need it, but you haven't had a chance to go through all the articles, you can go here, and then this is good for any database, and then you get that link, and it's actually going to go back to that search, not necessarily the one article. It's going to actually go back to the search. That way you get to pick up exactly where you left off.
Well, that's handy. Cool.
I did put it in the chat, but Zotero is also a good place to store citations. I believe we have a research guide that mentions that, but it's something that you can put on your computer. There's a software you can use, and you can put it on your Chrome. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you might have to manually store it, but from some of the databases, it will transfer. I think Web of Science is one of those that definitely uses Zotero. So you can just save the citation in there, and you can just go back and refer to it. So if you need to if you're using it to fill in on a works cited page, you can do that. Again, just always go back and double check the citation to make sure everything is the way it's supposed to be, because sometimes the copy and paste doesn't always work.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Oh yeah, I should have shown that, Chelsea. I'm glad you said that. Most of these databases will give you an option to, well, let's just go back to it. So for instance, if I were here, it's gonna give me an option to cite. And then you can check whichever one you want. And it has all these different ones. Like Chelsea said, you know, you can select these and have it emailed to you in that way, you know, but you always want to go back and double check it because they're not gonna, you can't, it's not gonna be 100% all the time. And I would say that with any software that generates a citation for you, you want to double check it. And here's what Chelsea was saying about the different, we don't have RefWorks, but if you had, we do have EndNote, and then there could be like a different file that you could actually download to go to Zotero when you have the extension on your browser. So that really is really good for like, if you're working on your dissertation and you have a lot of, you want to put things in folders and organize them in a certain way, you want to have some type of citation management, and we could do a session on that for you guys as well.
Is there compatibility with Mendeley, like similar to Zotero?
I'm not familiar with that actually. Is it open source? Is it free or?
It's partially free. I think there's a free version and then like a paid add-on.
Okay. Okay, I'll have to look at that, but I'm sure if not, it'll give you like, I'm sure all of them have some type of where you can take the raw data or the text files or something like that and import it that way. Most citation management software will allow you to at least take, you know, enter like the raw data or the raw text from it and import it that way based on fields. I'm pretty sure you should be able to do it.
Okay,
I'll look at that and get back to you.
thank you.
Mm-hmm. Can I just send it to Natalie and then she can share it to you guys, or if you can put your name, yeah, I can do it that way, either one.
You can send it to me. I can share it out with Rebecca
Okay.
and everybody. I use Zotero myself. I find it really handy because it stores my PDFs and it does make my citation. I double check it, but it's just a lot easier than having to write them all out all the time.
We used to have RefWorks, which is the standard, gold standard, but it's so expensive and we just couldn't afford it anymore. And I think a lot of schools are going to Zotero, but we do have EndNote. That is a paid subscription that we could get through. You can get through actually through ProQuest. And like I said, I'd be willing to share that with you if you wanted some options for citation management.
Perfect. Is there any more questions? No. All right. Are you guys, do you have anything more? You've really blown my mind because even I didn't even know some of this stuff. And it's like, where were you 4 years ago when I started? No.
This is just the tip. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, this is probably the broadest overview I could give you. We can drill down, and that's why those consultations are that is probably the best thing I could share with you. Obviously, you know, you can play around with the searching and things like that. You're going to get better with that as the more you do it. But I will say these databases are so sophisticated now that the challenge is coming up with your area or your research question and picking out words that are going to, so for instance, if I put a word into this database, is that how they see it? Or do I need to use a different word? So you can't just use one word. You have to think about what other words can I use? And once you find that word, you write that word down because it's golden now that you have it. And the thing you have to realize too is like, okay, that word works in this database, but it may be something else in another one. But you don't know that until you start searching. The other tip that I could give you that has always been like a really like golden for me is like, once you find one article that's on point, you can look at the subjects and the hyperlinks in that article online in this part of the record where it says details. This is what we call our metadata. This one doesn't give a good example of it because it doesn't have an abstract, but once you find something like that, it'll have like subject terms and different things like that. Those are the words you want to write down because that's going to give you actually articles that are similar to that. In this particular database, it's giving you the related items. So it's like Amazon, you like this one. you may also like this one.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
not,
but here they are. Here are the subjects. So for instance, these are the publication subjects or whatever. So this might be the article subject headings. And so if this particular article was exactly what you wanted, then you would look at this and kind of see how it's kind of broken down by different areas. And I would write those words down and try to use them and think of other words that are, you know, synonyms or whatever, and use and try to plug in different places in my search. So when I'm searching, that first search is not going to get it for you. You can just forget it, you know, and you may have to take out a word. You have to change words. You put words together, you put quotation marks around them so that I'm looking at that phrase. So there's all kinds of little techniques that you're going to just have to play around with it. And I guess, you know, Chelsea said this earlier, you know, research is not linear. It's like success. If you've seen that little graphic of success when it's all squiggly, 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 how research is. And so I think if you go into research with that mindset, that it's not like a 1, step 2, step 3, it's not that. You may get to step 4 and then have to go back. That's just the nature of it, because you may find out more information about your topic that you didn't know, and it just changes their whole perspective on it. So, but I think if you go into it with that mindset, you don't get as frustrated.
yeah, no, I agree 100%.
All right, guys, I'm talking. I know you guys are busy. I'll sit here talking all day about.
You want to talk about research, Nora? No. Let's do it. No, well, if there's no more questions, we want to thank Louisa and Chelsea. Thanks so much for coming out. I really am going to explore the ideas with the more specific videos based on some of our requests. We'll put it out there with the GSA because, like I said, I've been here for 4 years and I didn't know half of this, and I just handed in my first draft of my chapter 2, my lit review for my dissertation yesterday. So I wish I had known like even weeks ago. But for future people, I think this was really great. And I just really want to thank you guys for coming out. And I mean, everybody knows how to contact the library, but they are accessible, and really use those consultations. That sounds like an awesome service I've never heard of from a university library. Chrissy, did you have something to say?
No, nothing at all. Just shushing a kid. It's all good.
Oh, okay. I saw your hand. I thought it was maybe. Well, thank you very much, everybody. I'm gonna clap for you guys. I appreciate you coming out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Natalie and Chrissy, for putting this together. We're always happy to talk about the library.
Good. And oh, questions? And do you have some questions, Andrew?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was wondering, so like whenever you do the ILL requests, is there a limit on that?
I don't think so.
No.
Okay.
I think you can just request away.
Yeah.
I think at some point they may say, "Have you talked to a librarian?" You know, but I don't think I have not heard of any limit. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we can check out up to 100 books, so I doubt that there's like, right, Chelsea, isn't it like 100 books or something?
Yes, but I know people go over, so it's not a hard rule. We're willing to override that.
You can have what you want. Yeah, I think if it got to be where it's like a tremendous amount, they may say, "Oh, have you, talked to a librarian to see if there's something we have that's similar or something like that." But I haven't experienced that.
Perfect. Thank you.
There's
Did
probably
you say
someone there
that
waiting for you to ask for. There are people waiting for you to ask. They're not waiting; they're doing other stuff, but they get excited.
It says, did you say that ILL books can be sent to someone's house?
Yes. You said it again. I'm sorry, Chrissy. You did break up a little bit, but.
Oh, I'm sorry. It says, did you say that ILL books can be sent to someone's house?
Yeah, if you want something, anything we have in the library, whether it's something in our collection. So for instance, if we had an article that was in a journal that we had in the library, you make a request through the ILL form, and we will go upstairs, make that copy for you, scan it, and send it to you. For books, what we would do once we get it in, then we would mail that book to you. Yeah. You can return your books there's a book drop right outside of the library at your convenience. The interlibrary loans, the deadlines are a little bit different because we borrow them from other libraries. So we have to watch that a little bit more. But in terms of our books, we're a lot flexible. As long as no one else wants it, we're not going to worry about it, especially now during COVID. You just drop it into the book drop, or you can mail it back to us. And when something is mailed to you, there will be like an address label so that you can mail it back.
Oh, even better. I'm in Canada right now. Do you mail to me? No.
Hey, look, you know what? I'm going to say that tomorrow. I'm going to say, we should be mailing to everyone, everywhere. I don't see why not. You're a student, right?
Yeah. I was in Arkansas. I came back at COVID because of COVID stuff and
Yeah.
Trump.
I mean, we do priority mail goes to Canada, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I got my W-2 to Canada, so why can't I get a library book?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay, wonderful. Does anybody else have any questions? You can put them in the chat or unmute yourself.
I'm sorry, was that for me?
No, well, do you have, no, I said, does anybody else have any more questions? You could.
I'm sorry.
That's okay, Chrissy. It's okay, it's Tuesday. No, I was gonna say, put them in the chat or you can unmute yourself and if you have a question. No? All right, well, again, thank you, Louise and Chelsea. It's really appreciated, everybody who's attended, and we're gonna put the recording up on our website, and we'll further look into the shorter session or the subject specific, because I think that would be really handy to have for everybody. So thank you again. I'll clap again where I can never find my thing. Yay! And thanks so much. And yeah, everybody have a great night. Party, party.
Bye-bye. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Natalie, hang on with
Yeah.
me.